Hello and welcome to something a little different to what I normally stream on this channel. It is a Monday night, not Tuesday. We haven't got all the Club 100 drivers in this lobby, but this is something I've been invited to come and commentate on, which is a mega team versus team event. Now I will run you through everything before racing starts, but as you can see we are at this Tsukuba circuit for this opening week. There's 4 weeks to this championship, run by Bob Bristow, and he's done a great job to try and get this all together. Now, you will see a number of different liveries in this lobby, but each sim racing series has been invited to bring 2 of their drivers to this championship to allow it a broader range of drivers. I mean, we could have one series with a load of drivers wanting to be invited and nobody else gets a look in. So Bob has decided to allow only 2 drivers from each series to be entered. So for example, we have, if he is in this lobby, I can't find him at the moment because we've only got 10 in here at the moment, but for example, from other streams that we see on this channel, we have NM1M, which is Nathan Maximum from the Club 100 Championship, the O-Plate winner in the GT Sport Championship. He will be in this lobby tonight, but his teammate Marky Boy, who's Mark Riddell, he will be in lobby C. So I'll run you through the whole system very quickly. There's 3 lobbies tonight, all around Tsukuba circuit in these classic Renault Clios. Each lobby has 14 drivers. By the end of tonight, nobody will be eliminated from this championship. Anybody who finishes in the top 7 of each race will go into the A side of the draw. Anyone in the bottom 7 will go into the B side of the draw. So there's an opening sort of for anybody to take their chances in this championship. Next week we will go on to a different track and a different car, and there'll be 2 lobbies, a 10 and 11 on both sides of the draw. So you can imagine it being sort of a and a B side, so the slower drivers and the quicker drivers. Not that I believe we're going to have some really slow drivers tonight. I think it's going to be ultra competitive, but it has to be split at some point. After that race next week, I believe it's the bottom 5 or 6 drivers from each of them 4 races who will be eliminated from the competition. Then we will move on to week 3, where there is another lobby. I believe on the B side of the draw, that will be the final race for that side of the draw, with a B final of about 10 drivers to decide who is the B side champion. On the A side, they will go through another elimination race where half the field will be eliminated, and that will move on to a final race on week 4, where the top 5 or 6 drivers from this whole championship will fight it out to be crowned champion of the team versus team event, and obviously take that pride home to their chosen series. So it always depends on how it all works out. I'm just having a look through now for an example. Here we go, we've got ART Roadrunner. He's racing for the Amigos team, but at no point do you score Amigos championship points or anything like that. It is just so you've been nominated to race for that series and represent that series. So I think I've said it as simply as I can. As I say, if you've got any questions, queries about this championship, feel free to pop them in the chat below, or any just general chit chat. I have the chat in front of me, so I can help you with that. We will just have a look who is in this B lobby and what series they are racing for or representing. So I'll just bring up in front of me my sheet which says who is representing who. There's a few names which I recognise who aren't in this lobby completely. To mention a few, we have Callum Cripps Racing. Callum I've known from racing at Wilton Mill quite a few times, and I believe he went and did some car racing at some point, but that's a different matter. Two from a next gen racing series, Hirakram and Philo, both not in this lobby tonight, and as I've already mentioned, Marky Boy. I've also noticed Burnt Fry, who I've raced before, is in another lobby, and I think that's about it. So I will try and run through who's in this lobby and who they are racing for. So we'll go with Ricci, who is here at the front, and Ricci is racing for Independent, which I believe is Independent Hungarian Racing or something along them lines. Apologies if I do get these teams wrong. I've just got your badges in front of me, so I haven't got the full names. So Ricci, Hungarian, racing for the Hungarian side, who also have a stream going for this lobby, but in Hungarian. So if you're watching this, it's probably because you don't know Hungarian, which, you know, it's great to see a mix of cultures, a mix of countries in this championship, and good luck to Ricci in his race here tonight. White Shark Jim. Now White Shark Jim is racing for the Digital Car Culture team, and as you can see there is different liveries on the cars. So there is the Digital Car Culture team in the white and red, quite obvious their car, DCC across it. There is Will RS. Now Will RS is racing for the DM Sim Racing Overdosed Monkeys team, as you can see splashed across the back, and a very nice Duckham's livery there. Nice homage back to the early 90s, late 90s for that. I have missed somebody who's gone up into second place, and that is Club 100's very own NM1 Nathan Maximin, O-Plate winner in the GT Sport Championship, and looking to make it 2 wins in a row tomorrow night. We have Awesome Alex there, who is off the track and stopped at the moment. Awesome Alex will be racing for the DR team, so good luck to him. Toby, GTP Toby, he will be driving for the Comedy Club. There's Roadrunner for the Amigos. Vazrukas for L Team, I think that's Lithuanian, a Lithuanian team on there, so again a mix of cultures and countries involved. The Croatian Tonchu 94, he will be racing for, can't quite see him on this, Tonchu GTHR he's racing for, or representing. There is Simo for the Amigos, so both Amigos teams drivers in this lobby, so that'll be interesting to see if they work together. Gmarge 21 is racing for the Charlatan Racing team, Greek flag next to him. Danka Bentz 99, Danka Bentz is racing for, I know there's a replacement driver in there somewhere. No, there's a Danko 1993 who could be him, and he would be racing for GTHR again. But we're going into this qualifying session now, so while I've told you what teams there is, it's not really vitally important because they're just representing them, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So we've got some good looks coming in as the session is about to begin. Hello to Mario Calero, who's saying good luck to the CC Sim Racing driver and the ART team. King Clan also supporting the CC Sim racers. Moto Boy and Red Spectre. Chris Brooker saying come on amigos, and GT Rabbit cheering on the ART boys. So feel free to throw in your... We've just got to restart, it looks like, to qualifying, so we'll see what happens there. I guess everyone will return to pits, and yes, they're all going to quit back out, so just bear with us with that. Walmid, hello Sam, coming in with a good look for Nathan on the Club 100 side of things. But we will just wait for this lobby. They're all being asked to return to the main lobby. Not everyone has done so yet, but they're all meant to be heading back to restart. So we'll just wait for that. So as I say, any questions about the championship, any comments, and if you enjoy this stream, please like it, please subscribe to our channel, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some action from this championship over the next 4 weeks, and also some action from the Club 100 streams. For those of you watching who do watch the Club 100 streams or are racing in the Club 100 streams, tomorrow night we won't be on this channel. We'll be heading over to the Double Dash Media channel, who are the commentators for Club 100 themselves, and Andrew Maffer will be joining me for that O-Plate Championship in the go-karts around an unspecified circuit. They won't know the circuit until the evening begins, so that'll be good to watch. So make sure you tune in over at Double Dash Motorsport Media and like their page on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube to see some great action from Club 100 and other meetings which they do commentate on, like the Wilton Mill Kart Club, like the Club 100 iRacing Championship. But anyway, back to tonight, and the cars are back in a practice session just for the moment. We're just awaiting racing to begin, or qualifying to begin should I say. I think they're just waiting on one racer, so that's good of them to restart while waiting for them. Obviously they didn't have to, but may as well have a full grid. Pajonski getting Club 100, hello Peter, thanks for joining us. And Jovo Braddock, good luck to Simo and Roadrunner. So a lot of support for the ART team, not the ART team that I presume raced Lewis Hamilton to the GP2 title all them years ago and had Christian Lundgaard in the team last year. I'm presuming a different ART, but if it is the ART from GP2 and F3 and F2 and all that fame, even better. We've got some classic liveries on display tonight, and this one that Ickle Pants has got on harps back to a late Clio Cup livery. Just looks right on a Renault, doesn't it? Absolutely looks right. Thank you GT. Migos Racing Team is ART. I still think it would be brilliant if ART, the F2 team, came out and said they were actually called Amigos Racing Team. You know, keep that hidden all these years and then suddenly come out with it. I think that would go down a storm. But anyway, we're waiting for one more driver. I'm not sure who it is that we're waiting for, but we'll just have a look through who is on board. Hello Jay Elliott, thanks for joining us. Renault Sport colours at yellow and black. Yeah, it's just a classic Renault. I don't think Renault will ever go to anything, even now they're Alpine. I think Renault is one team that would never sort of deviate from yellow and black as a works team. Now they're Alpine, probably go for a blue colour because that's an Alpine colour, but I certainly don't think we've got too much to worry about. I've just had a private message, Sam Dimolo, asking if they're doing practice as qualifying. No, this is just waiting for one more driver to come in to the lobby, and hopefully they'll be joining us too, even into CRT Lucky Bucky. That's a mouthful after you've had a drink. It's a mouthful before you've had a drink. But we're just waiting, as I say, for this lobby to come together. We've just got to wait for this one driver to make it fair with this championship only just starting. Come on, G Marge. So lots of good luck messages coming in for the drivers. Obviously, I was speaking to some of the Club 100 drivers this weekend and even tonight just before we came into this lobby, and I think the hint is don't be stupid tonight. We're going to see drivers fighting away at the front of this field and hoping to win the event and win the championship. But with no eliminations tonight, the only crucial thing is to get into the top 7 of this race. And it certainly seems to be a sensible option that if you're running, say, 2nd or 3rd and the top 3 of you pulling away, there's no need to make some silly moves, because you're going to qualify for the A side of the draw next week, which is random lobbies being drawn, so the drivers will just go into a hat and be drawn out nicely. There's Simo just apologising for the delay, but at the end of the day we've got to wait for everybody to get into the lobby, and we all have real world things to worry about, so we can't sort of wait too much for issues. There's Red Spectre, so there we go, that's why I hadn't seen his name in the lobby so far. So far in this practice session you can see NM1 for Club 100 is top of this practice session, but not by much, and the practice doesn't mean a huge amount. 1 minute till our qualifying session will begin, so we will just wait and see how that will go. Again, if you'd like to ask any questions, if you'd like to show your support for anybody, feel free to pop your comments in the chat and we'll try and read them out as we go along. We've got Hugh Parker saying go CRT, same with Phil Gardner. Phil Gardner saying Nathan is rapid, super fast driver. Yes, I've raced against Nathan a few times and there's no way I'm going to catch him, and that's why I'm behind the mic tonight and not on the track. Damo, evening good sir. Good luck Georgie boy, CRT, no surrender. Yeah, I think it'd be great. It should be a close championship throughout. These early draws, it's not the easiest to randomly draw 3 grids and try and keep it close, because we don't know the standard of drivers that everybody's put forward. I know, for example, Nathan is quick with Club 100. Marky Boy in the other lobby is a former GT finalist, as Bob said in his video earlier on. But the qualifying session has just begun, so that shows you a bit of a standard. I've raced Hirokram in one of the other lobbies. I know him quite well. He's mega quick. Callum Cripps is quick. So there's definitely some drivers in this championship who I can personally say will be in contention, but I don't know what the other drivers are going to be like until after this week, when I've seen people out on track and fighting hard. So until then we won't know. This qualifying session will be an eye-opener for myself and probably most people watching. So we're going to stick with Simo at the start of this first qualifying lap. We'll probably go actually on board with him and we'll bring up the data and we'll see how he produces a lap of this Tsukuba circuit as he heads into the final corner. Does he drop down to 3rd gear? Yes, just about, just to get the nose in, keeps the revs high, out onto the runoff on the outside. You can use that all the way, and across the stripe as we go down into turn 1, 4th gear, down to third, down to second to get my nose in. I've not known anybody use first out of here yet. Some do use third though. Bit of a twitch on the exit, down into turn 2 and sweeping through turn 3 into turn 4. Very similar to the start of Zandvoort, I feel, with the banking as well. Nicely done there by Simo. Hooks the apex all nicely up in 5, doesn't run too wide, keeps it tight for 6, and heads down to the hairpin at 7 and 8. Brakes down to second gear, stays on the brakes. Maybe could have got on power a touch earlier there, but he gets onto the back straight and he powers along for the Amigos racing team towards the final corner. The longest straight on the track this. Slipstream may come into effect, I've heard it's not the strongest. Into turn 8, the final corner, very long corner here. Pit lane on your right if you need that. And across the stripe for the first time to do a 1 minute 6.2 and a 6.0 for Icy Pants. Ickle Pants. Recce, we want, I'm just trying to see the quickest. We've got a 5.6 from NM1, and I think that's possibly the quickest. We'll bring up the times on the board. Yes, NM1 goes quickest from Ricci. ART Roadrunner in 3rd, and 4th we've got the Duckham's livery of Will RS. So 3 attempts covering the top 4 on that opening lap, but obviously some people put in a bank and some people don't. We can see Will RS here at the back, just staying out of the way of other people and trying to run his own laps. Taking the apex quite nicely. I can see a Welsh flag on the side of that, so I'm presuming Will RS is from the Welsh side of the UK. Just a presumption. But we've got some more times. Ricci goes quickest with 1:05.5. Toby improves with 6.5. Farukas 6.1. Tonchu with 6.4. 6.0 for Awesome Alex. Danko Bent 6.4. Now remember, these drivers may keep improving as the session goes on, but it is currently Ricci who is on pole by 0.08 of a second. Nothing between. That's a slight miss of a braking area in these cars, so I'm sure we can see some more improvement from each driver. Now when we get to the race, it will be, I believe it's ×3 and ×5 on the tyre wear and fuel wear. Personally been told that the tyre wear isn't too much of an issue around this circuit. Yes, you start to wear out the left front, but that's understandable with this long final corner. You're always going to start wearing that tyre out. But fuel is slightly critical. It's touch and go, depending how quick the pace is, to whether they will, as Nathan improves to a 5.5, now only 49 thousandths off pole position. This is going to be close between those two drivers, but it's close on fuel critical to who will be needing a pit stop. You're allowed to pit, you don't have to pit. As we can now see the Club 100 driver coming through towards the end of his lap. Let's see if this is going to be good enough to steal pole position. The top 2 out in front with 3 attempts back to ART Roadrunner. As I was saying, the fuel is critical. You can make it to the end, but it's going to be tight, so you'll have to do a little bit of fuel saving throughout the race. But if you're battling, maybe the lap times will be slower, and you won't have to because you won't do that extra lap or 2. I believe the race will be about 26, 27, maybe 28 laps, something like that. It's a 30-minute race. We've still got no improvement. NM1 is now stuck behind one of the, it's the Comedy Club car there. So he will be looking to try and find his way round past him. But we have 14 drivers at the moment, all covered by 0.9 of a second. 9 tenths covers all 14 of these drivers, so super close. Yes, it's a short circuit, but these Clio Cup cars aren't the easiest to get up to speed. If you bog down in a corner, miss a gear, that's your lap over within this qualifying session, which we have 3 minutes 30 left of. So we'll go through the order now. In 14th we have G March 21, 9 tenths off the pace, only just behind Tonshu, who's there again 9 tenths off the pace in the green liveried GTHR car. He pits, so he's looking for a new set of boots. In 12th we have GTP Toby, who is just being passed up the inside there by the Renault liveried car, as G Marge has moved up into 12th place, so just ahead of Toby. In 11th we have Danko Bentz, who is coming into the pits for a tyre stop. 10th we have the host Simo, only 6 tenths off the pace. This is how close this qualifying session is. Red Spectre in 9th, Fizrukas in 8th, Icklepants in 7th, White Shark Jim in 6th, only 4 tenths off, less than half a second covering the top 6. Awesome Alex in 5th, Will RS in 4th, ATR Roadrunner in 3rd, and then there's a 3 tenths gap to the top 2, who are both out there at the moment trying to improve their lap times to hold on to this pole position in the case of Ricci. So thank you all for joining us for this qualifying session. We've now got 2 minutes remaining. This is the power end of the session, and if I'm getting any of these names wrong, please let me know, because obviously I haven't some of them might be pronounced differently to what I'm saying. Ricci goes quicker again with a 1 minute 5.292, and he's gone 3 tenths clear of NM. That has laid a marker down for NM to really have to push hard. Simo moves up to 6 with a lap time just under 1 minute 6. So we now have under a minute and a half to go. These drivers will soon be on their last lap of qualifying. Ricci is in the pits as he thought that's well good enough, because that is one hell of a lap time. So that is a gauntlet laid down to MM1. One minute remaining. So this means after this will be one last lap for NM1 to push towards trying to steal pole position. We currently have Will RS has just gone quicker and into 3rd place ahead of ART Roadrunner, who's in the pits, so that's his session over. He will get no better than 4th. Ricci is on pole. Nathan goes quicker, but he's got to find another 10th of a second. This is his last chance, so we'll stick with Nathan here and just see whether he can steal that pole position away. White Shark Jim has jumped ahead into 4th place of ART Roadrunner, so ART Roadrunner coming into the pits was probably not the best solution unless he made a mistake. Drivers are continuing, and there's a slowdown there for Nathan, and that's, yeah, sideways there, that's his session over. So he is now currently 2nd, so we'll back away from him. Will RS is on a lap. Let's see how this Duckham's livery lives up to the expectations. Toby goes quicker with a 6.2, leaves him out of the top 8 for now, but only 2 tenths off the top 8, so that shows how close this session is. I think Ricci is just that little bit too far out of reach. Red Spectre moves up into 4th, a great lap of a 1 minute 5.8. So we're just waiting. Here comes Will RS, swings it into the final corner. Here he comes across the line. Danko Bentz goes quicker to go, but drops out of the top 8, and no quicker for Will RS. Anybody else still on a lap? Just having a look through. I'm not sure there is. No, that is the end of the session. So Tonshu finishes in 14th, propping up the field, but only 1.1 seconds covers the field. And after that mega back lap by Ricci, there is no way that I would have expected somebody to get close. So 1.1 just stretched it out over a second for the whole field, but a mega close session. And this is the race. Even Nathan turned around and said, what a lap that is. On the podium says, what stream is marking? He's in lobby 3. But it's Ricci on pole, NM1 on second, Will RS and Red Spectre bring out row 2, White Shark Jim and ART Roadrunner are on the third row. The lights are on and we will wait for the start. Can we see the lights from here? Yes we can. There we go. And we're away. Here at Tsukuba. It's a great start by the front row men. I don't think there's much between them, but NM1 does have a slight overlap as he comes into turn 1 but doesn't quite make it. Will RS tries around the outside. That won't work. He'll get forced out wide, but everybody is through turn 1 just about at the back, and the race is on. Will RS already going for second place off NM1, and the fight is on for this top 7 positions in this race. NM1 sideways there, almost off the track as Red Spectre runs the grass. A lot of risks being taken on this lap early on, but Ricci is now starting to stretch that lead out. He's 5/10 in the lead. A little bump by NM1 there behind in the battle for second. Just forced RS a little wide, but slots back in behind, and that's fair game by Nathan there. He had to be careful. Didn't want to pick up a penalty after the race or even in the race, but it's Ricci who leads across the line for lap 1. Will RS in second, NM1 in third. Fourth goes to Red Spectre at this stage as NM1 now goes to the inside of Will RS into turn 1 and takes second place. So the Club 100 driver back into second place, runs a little bit wide. Will RS sideways out of the corner and will have to settle for third. Red Spectre with a watching brief in fourth. Then we have White Shark Jim in 5th. ART Roadrunner has dropped down to 6th. Awesome Alex in the final qualifying position in 7th place. Icklepants in 8th. Simo dropped to 9th off the start. Danko Bentz in 10th. Toby in 11th. Tonchu in 12th. G Marge in 13th. And Fizrukas in 14th has dropped to the back for the Lithuanian team. But the lead is being stretched out there by Ricci with the fastest lap. And we now have probably the closest battle is on for third place. Will RS with Red Spectre and White Shark Jim right behind him with a watching brief there as the cars file through across the grid hatchings for the third time. And we're on lap 3 now. And there's everybody just settling into this race. They know it's no point trying to lose a load of, as there's a very run wide there by the team in 14th place, by the LT team. But the closest battle here is for the top 3. NM1 just closing that gap slightly to Ricci, but no need to fight at this stage of a race. Pride is not what's needed. Top 7 is what is needed for this race. Welcome to Paul Stanford to the stream, and Andy Dawson. Hello Andy. I'm so glad your namesake Andrew Dawson isn't in here as well, because we would be having that argument about what number you are again. But we continue with this race, round onto lap 4. Still not much change in position. Everybody just having a watching brief at this moment. We'll file back to 7th place. It's crucial 7th place today. And it's Awesome Alex who holds it 4 seconds off the lead, with Icklepants and Simo right on his tail. They're just about keeping up with his top 6, but that's because they haven't started fighting. I think they've been sensible here. Don't start fighting yet. Try and keep up with the top 6 as Icklepants gets really close to the back of Awesome Alex there. The battle here has to keep up with the top 6. More people in the top 6 that can draw into this battle, the better. But the top 6 are working together at this stage. They're not trying to fight, they're trying to get away. Hello to Digital Car Culture. Let's just have a look where your driver is at this stage. I'm just trying to see where he is. At the back we have... That's not Digital Car Culture. I'm trying to find the car. That's not it. That's a Comedy Club car. We'll have a look through. There it is. There he is. White Shark Jim in 5th place at the moment. And holding 5th place well. He's just watching brief on this 3rd place battle. As we do have 2 cars at the front. NM1 has closed in on Ricci after the first 5 minutes of this race. And is looking like he's working together for now. There's no point trying to fight this. This is about a consistent race. And we'll be looking to see what happens. We just had a message from Juice Ubels. What's so special about the top 6 points paying positions? What it is tonight, just in case you missed the start of the stream, nobody gets eliminated from this race. The eliminations are on week 2, 3. So tonight is deciding which side of the draw you go in. Do you go into the A side of the draw or the B side of the draw? The B side will go through to accumulating into a B final, whereas the A side will go on to try and dispute who is the winner of the whole event. So the top 7 from each of tonight's lobbies, the 3 lobbies that are running, will go off, and the top 7 will go on to the A side of the draw, the bottom 7 will go on to the B side of the draw. So this is crucial to know whether you're going to be in with a chance of winning the whole event in the A final, or whether you're just going to be fighting for the B final. So it's a bit of posturing, really. You get into the top 7, you're one of the quicker drivers in this championship and with a chance of being crowned champion. If you're in the bottom 7, you're looking to win the B final. If for people who know go-karting in England, for example, most of the time you have 3 heats, and then they're all calculated points, and then you have a B final, some qualify from a B final to the A final. So it's that kind of thing, except you don't have the qualifications. So it's B final, A final, and it's deciding how your weeks are going to progress through the next 2 weeks, I believe, until the A final, which is by itself on the final week. So I hope that runs through what happens and why I've been so crucial on that top 7 in the championship and in this race tonight, because those 7 drivers will go through and race the quicker guys from the other lobbies. Now I don't know how those lobbies are getting on, because sadly we didn't have the races are all happening at once. I wish they were slightly more split so we could say who we're going to qualify against, but we can see there on the left hand side NM1 is with the fastest lap of race, running in 2nd place at the moment, and we have a gap of half a second. Ricci has stretched the gap slightly, so Ricci seems to be in control of this race for now. He's not pushing it too hard. There's a few time marbles on the outside that may come into effect later on when people are trying to pass others, but at this moment NM1 just having a watching brief on the leader. Will RS in 3rd place at the moment, and comfortably in 3rd place. He's got a 2nd gap back to Red Spectre, no pressure from behind, and he's possibly closing on the front 2 slightly. Hopefully, because that'll put us a 3-car train at the front for the win of this race. And I'll be honest, I think the top 2 are just trying to pull away and look after themselves, as we see behind a very tight line out by Ickelpants. And he's brought up a penalty. Maybe he's gone for a move on Awesome Alex, but hasn't managed to make it through. And the Renault Sports livery driver is now pushing for that 7th place. He's decided he needs to go now because they have brought Simo, Danko Bentz and Toby into this fight for 7th place. And no disrespect to Awesome Alex, but he has got a bit of a train behind him now, and he will be having to drive a defensive line of his life. He's not that much slower than ART Roadrunner in front, but he's having to be slightly defensive, and it's just losing a bit of time. And the guys behind can see the gap opening up. They can see their chances of bringing somebody else into this battle is really getting late, as there's a look there by Icklepants again. All wide by Awesome Alex. That look just scared him off the racing line, and Icklepants may have the run. Awesome Alex will have a better run out the corner. There's side by side behind them as well between Simo. Let's see who takes it. Awesome Alex takes position up the inside, and Simo holds on to 9th place as well. So these 5 drivers will be all looking for their chance to stay in the top 7 and in the top split of this championship. We'll look further back in. Simo down to 10th. Danko Bentz has made his way through, but Simo fighting back into turn 4, stays to the inside and takes the position. Good defending by Simo, but that has brought Toby into this battle, who is now looking to be outside of Danko Bentz. Won't make it through on that corner, but just biding his time. And this has just let the top 7th and 8th, Awesome Alex and Icklepants, just to pull away, just to take that 7th place battle away with them, for them to deal with it. I can see a really close battle behind as well for 12th place between Tonchu, G-Marge and Fizz Rukas is not far behind this, as you can see. Only actually after 10 laps is only 15 seconds off, and with the battling that goes on throughout the field, that's pretty close overall. So we'll now look forward to the DCC driver of White Shark, who's now starting to pile the pressure on Red Spectre for 4th place. Obviously the higher up this top 6, 7 you can get, the safer you are. It's a bit like that old qualifying format where if in Formula 1, where if you're at the end of this half an hour, if you're in 8th, you're in the B side. There's nothing you can do about it for the rest of these weeks. So I expected to get me a bit more fraught towards the end, but this top 5 seem to have stretched themselves clear, not really having to worry too much. ART might get dropped into the back there, but Awesome Alex has now been passed into that hairpin by Icklepants, so that is a change for that qualifying position in 7th, as Simo is being looked at by Toby close behind. Toby on the inside and makes it through, but we can just go back and have a look at the move that was pulled there by Icklepants up the inside into the hairpin. We're on board with him, just slips up the inside. Awesome Alex left the space for him, and he was through, and he wasn't going to let Awesome Alex get the run out of the corner, and I don't blame him. So that's up into 7th place for Icklepants, and he will be now in the Renault Sport livery looking at ART Roadrunner and wanting to close that gap. But we'll head back to our leaders. Ricci and NM1 pulling away here at the front, constantly just taking it easy, taking the lead to, let me just see, 3.3 seconds ahead now. A few comments in the chat. We've got Jay Elliott saying, I bet Nathan is fuel and tyre saving. He could very well be. We'll have a look at the 15-minute mark at what tyres each driver's got. I presume they won't be that much different from what I've seen of practice. A little update, thank you from Ponjonsky on lobby 3, which is that Marky Boy is leading from Hirokram and Danko. That's the top 3 there. So, and in the lobby 1, I believe it is, CRT Burnt Fry is running in 3rd. So that's a next gen driver. He's not racing for next gen, but I've raced him in next gen, so that's good to hear. But this top 2 are pulling away now. Will Nathan, I discussed this with him just before we come on air, and He wanted to win this race, obviously, and he felt like he had a chance, which we can see perfectly well. These two drivers both have the clear chance of winning this race. But there's never too early to show your hand, and in this championship there's no need to win the first race. You don't have to. It makes no difference to your championship whether you're first or second in this first race. But for mental games, that Nathan could follow Ricci for the whole race and beat him, or Ricci could defend from Nathan for the whole race, is all important for the mind games. Because if you think, oh well, I couldn't get past him after half an hour and I was quicker, that could be playing on your mind for the next week, as these two have pulled out a 4.8 second gap now back to Will RS. We'll look back at them, and Will RS has made a mistake somewhere there, and Red Spectre is all over the back of him looking to the outside. That's never going to work, but respect by Will RS to keep it tight, and that's going to give Red Spectre a run into the final corner. I don't think he'll make it round the outside. That's a daring move. You'd have to really sweep in. He's not going to be able to do that, but he's clinging on. He's clinging on. Will RS will just run him out wide, and this might let White Shark Jim into the battle, and he's made it through, but and defensive by Will RS, which has allowed White Shark Jim up the inside of Red Spectre. They're both door rubbing, but they're both still side by side behind, and I think Red Spectre will take the position into turn 4. Just see it behind. Yes, he does. But we'll just look back and see if we can see what happened to Will RS. He come out the hairpin on the previous lap with a nice little gap, and then just got... Did he get out wide here? I don't know what happened there. The hazards come on and he just sort of flipped the car, so I'm not sure what happened there to Will RS, but he's still in third place and still now pulling out the gap to Red Spectre, who's held off the attentions of White Shark Jim now. There is ART Roadrunner having a nice quiet drive for the Amigos racing team in 6th place, just making sure he qualifies by the looks of this. I don't see this being his outright quickest. I see this being his quickest, and to be consistent and to take this chance to be into the top half of the draw. We'll look at the battle. There's Icklepants still ahead of Awesome Alex. Toby has got up into 9th place ahead of Danko Bentz, with Simo just close behind. Now these three would need to start working together to close on this battle in front, because as soon as Awesome Alex starts fighting, they need to be there as well. Further back we have Tonchu now ahead of Fizrukas, as G-Marge 21 has dropped to the back for... Must have been a mistake possibly by the driver there. I'm not sure why he's dropped back, but he's still only 2 seconds off the back of that pack, so he can still join in this battle as the race goes on. So we have 12 minutes left, 12 and a half minutes left, a bit later than I expected, as Nathan runs wide out of the final corner and loses a bit more time. So we'll just bring up the car info in each driver. There is Ricci's tyres. You can see a little bit of wear on the left front, and the fuel just over half gone, so he looks like he might be alright. Nathan about the same, a bit more fuel actually on Ricci's car, so that's interesting to see. Nathan's been keeping up with him, but Ricci hasn't been pushing, and he's been fuel saving to a point. And then we look back at Will RS, who's just lost a little bit more fuel and got a bit more wear on his tyres, but we know he's been fighting at times. Similar, a lot of fuel used up there by Red Spectre, so will he need to pit? We look back at White Shark Jim, who saved a little bit more fuel than his driver in front, so that will be interesting to see. Will he be able to not pit and gain a position? A bit more fuel, yes, a lot of fuel saved there by ART Roadrunner, so he is certainly looking for a consistent run that gets him to a flag without pitting. His pace is strong enough to get there without pitting, I would say. There is our 7th place man, Icklepants, and his fuel compared to his rival. Oh, there's some fuel saving there by Awesome Alex compared to Icklepants, so that may be crucial for the final 7th place. A lot of fuel used up there by Danko Bentz. A bit more saved by Toby and Simo. Yes, he's got a little bit more than both of them, so some drivers just trying to save a bit of fuel there in the battles to look at trying to make it a non-stop race. See a few of the comments coming in. Will RS bit naughty on leaving space? I don't think it was too bad on the final corner. If there's another bit which you're on about, I'm not sure, but I think he was just, you run a driver out of the road if he's on the outside, and you'd be pretty silly not to. Andy Dawson saying Ricci's not a driver that most people know, but he's one of the quickest drivers he's faced, which is interesting. Just having a look what other comments here. Yeah, come on Alex from Rice Racing. So some still support coming in for the teams. Remember, these lobbies will be going on throughout the next few weeks, and we've still got the battle on here for 3rd place. Will RS is dropping slightly into the clutches of White Shark Jim, who has made his way, I think, past Red Spectre, and Red Spectre is now having to defend from ART Roadrunner. So we'll just set a replay marker there and see if we can find out what happened to him once we see the outcome of this battle, where Roadrunner is now starting to push Red Spectre and trying to make it up into 5th place. Red Spectre goes to defend, Roadrunner to the outside. Will he make it through? This is bringing Icklepants into the fight, who's dropped Awesome Alex for now, but it looks like Roadrunner will have to settle for 6th place at the moment. So we'll head back and just see what happened to Red Spectre. He goes into the hairpin, just understeers out wide, gets sideways trying to block the inside line, and has to really defend for the next few corners. So he's still having to defend now from Roadrunner. There's no change in the other positions that I can see. Simo has got past Toby into 10th place, and Ricci's lead is into 6/10 of a second. So we will stick with this Red Spectre battle for now, just seeing whether he can hold on to 5th place, or whether Icklepants there in the Renault livery is looking at coming into this fight with Roadrunner. Some support coming in for Nathan from Kurf Karts. Hello Kurf, good to see you joining us. We've got just over 7.5 minutes of this race to go. Remember, this is one race of 4 weeks of racing. Hopefully I will be bringing you some streams from the other lobbies throughout the next 4 weeks on the Monday night. Just to plug my own, remember we've got the Club 100 O-Plate tomorrow night on the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel, and anybody who's watching who isn't Club 100 or doesn't know about the championship, please come and watch that on the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel tomorrow night, because they're go-karts on GT Sport, and these guys put on a show last time for the O-Plate, and this time is going to be absolutely no different. But anyway, back to tonight's racing. We still have, it's very hard to pass around this circuit, and I think that's why we've seen drivers just taking their time, sizing up their opposition and trying to just make the one move and make it stick. And that's why we haven't seen a huge amount of side by side, a huge amount of battling throughout the race, because tonight it's not needed. It's just about getting your lobby ready for the rest of the championship. Roadrunner looking to the outside of Red Spectre, but not pushing the elements. He doesn't want to bring Icklepants into this battle. It's not worth it with 6 minutes to go. These two will still qualify for the A side of the grid, as will Icklepants. He probably won't want to get involved in this fight, as Roadrunner now looks to the outside again. Obviously Roadrunner can see Icklepants coming up in his mirror, and probably wants to try and get past, because he doesn't want to be on the bubble, which is that 7th place. It's a bit like IndyCar qualifying as well, where you have a guy on the bubble, and if he loses that position, he is in the B slot. So whilst at first it seemed a very confusing championship, once you looked at the spreadsheet and understood it, it was really easy, and Bob's done a great job to bring it together. So we're now just going to have a quick look a bit further back, a couple of positions back. I could see a battle. Danko, Bentz and Simo have dropped Toby completely, and you can just see the pink and black car in the distance, and they are now closing in on Awesome Alex, who is now under pressure to stay in the top 8. Obviously 8th place doesn't matter, he's still in the B side of the grid, but pride is that matter. If you're 8th on the last lap and somebody in front of you gets a penalty, you might just gain a position, so you don't want to lose that chance of something happening. The final result in lobby 3 from Pajonski is Marky Boy, Hikarama and Dako all go through to the A side of the grid, and there will be more obviously with them who go to the A side of the grid. But the important thing is who goes through to the A side of the grid from this race. And at the moment, that is Ricci, our leader, out in front. Now, NM1 has closed back that gap to him. It's going to be interesting to see whether NM1 actually takes a dig at this or just sits there. Knowing Nathan, he won't resist himself a little dig if the pass is there to try and take. They've got a nice gap back to Will RS. He's not even in the vision of these two as they come onto the back straight. They're just coming through the hairpin now. There they are, with White Shark Jim all over the back of him. But again, these two possibly working together to stay ahead of Red Spectre, who was under pressure for a while and looking like he was going backwards, but he's recovered well. His pace is good, and he should hold on to that top 5 in the race. So we go out onto lap 25 now. Just over 3 minutes to go for these drivers. The pressure cooker is starting to build up. Will RS, there is White Shark Jim close behind. These guys 13 seconds off the top 2 have been in the league of their own tonight, but they might just hooked up the circuit. If you look at this whole championship, these are the best drivers that these series have to send out, and these esport teams. And sometimes a driver just picks up a car better than others. I know one driver who races road cars better than he races GT cars and things like that. And maybe they've just hooked up, maybe they've done more practice. Who knows? But Red Spectre is in the pits. I've just noticed that. Red Spectre in the pits. He feels like he needs to pit. So this is now getting crucial. Red Spectre drops out the qualifying positions and pits. And so does G Marge. So unless other people pit, this is them out of the A side of the grid. A quick splash of fuel for the last 2 minutes of this race, and they are heading out. Not enough fuel saving there by Red Spectre, and it'll be interesting to see whether anybody else feels the need to pit before this race is up. Red Spectre comes out in 11th, G Marge out in 14th. So now we look, there is our leaders coming round to start lap 27. Ricci and NM not heading for pits this time by. Will RS. They will have 2 laps left possibly. The leaders have 2 laps left for sure. But they have the gap to back off. They could technically back off and try and not do that next lap. But Will RS continues on. So does White Shark Jim. Roadrunner continues, as does Icklepants and Awesome Alex, who has picked up that top 7, and probably deservedly so. He's driven well, apart from Icklepants getting past, and he's kept his head after that and not pushed too hard as he runs wide, commentator's curse there, and kept it sensible. and he's managed to take advantage of that pit stop being needed. Simo now in 8th place, hoping that one of the others needs to pit because that gap just looks a little too big. There's Danko Bentz, Toby and Red Spectre coming up behind, but I think he's out. I think he's in the B final now as Ricci heads towards the final lap when they cross the line this time by. And Nathan's in the pits. Nathan pits. Is that just a security measure? He's got 2% of fuel left, so must have felt the need to pit. That is crucial. Will he get past? He's got a 17-second gap. I think he'll get back out in 2nd place, and it's just a safety stop to make sure he makes it to the end. He comes out the pits, still in 2nd place, and there is the 3rd place. He had the whole of the pit straight, and I don't know why I was stressing. But there is ART Roadrunner, and White Shark Jim is slowing. Is White Shark Jim out of fuel? He is. White Shark Jim is out of fuel, and he will not be finishing this race. Oh, he's been so unlucky with that, but also very lucky actually, because Simo in 8th place has finished. Toby has finished. The top 7 are still on the next lap. There is Danko Bentz. Red Spectre finishes 11th. Tonchu 12th. G-March 13th and Fazuruskas in 14th. But here comes Ricci round the final corner. He's controlled it from the start, wins by 8 seconds due to that pit stop for Nathan, but Ricci takes a well-deserved win and swings it across the line. Won't take fastest lap here today, that will go to Nathan, but here comes Nathan across the line. Needed a pit stop but finishes in 2nd place. Will RS comes round and takes 3rd place. Strong drive by him, consistent drive to 3rd place. Awesome Alex comes home in 4th. I told you the perseverance would live off. There is ART Roadrunner, who's down in 5th, and is he out of fuel? Yes, he's out of fuel, but he will come home in 5th place. 6th place, Icklepants, he's out of fuel, and White Shark Jim in 7th is also out of fuel, but they will all qualify for the top tier of this championship due to Simo crossing the line after the clock had run out and the race finishing. So I'll be honest, lucky boys, very lucky for the 5th, 6th and 7th place man, because if they had to do if Simo had to do the other lap, one of them would have missed out. But Ricci, pole position, not fastest lap, but he wins the race and he's through to the A side of the grid for the next championship. So we'll now just have a quick look through race results. So Ricci wins from NM1, Will RS takes 3rd, Awesome Alex in 4th from ART Roadrunner, who had run out of fuel after running in 4th, Icklepants in 6th, he qualifies even though he ran out of fuel. White Shark 7th, he ran out of fuel. And then we go to Simo, Toby, Danko Bentz, Red Spectre, Tonchu, G-March and Firuzkas, who will qualify for the B side of the draw. Wow, I told you this would be fuel critical, but I did not expect that, and I think driver of the day has to go to Ricci. Dominated the race, controlled it, never flustered under the pressure of NM1, and it's got to be said, a great drive by Awesome Alex. He was sitting in 7th, lost it, didn't lose his head when he dropped to 8th, even though he wasn't going to qualify for the A side of a draw. The pit stop for Red Spectre moved him up to 7th, and then he finishes 4th because of the fuel running out for 3 other drivers. Wow, that was some race, and I can't quite believe how that went. We're just looking through some of the comments here. We've got Curve Kart saying, wow, there wasn't a lot in that. Great racing, Nathan. Fastest lap by Paul Stanford. Good stuff by Tim Clark. What if White Shark had got timed out there, Curve Kart says. Well, to be honest, I think because he's 7th on the results, he qualifies from 7th because he was got onto the final lap. I'm not 100% sure, but Simo didn't make it to the line before White Shark did. So I believe he will qualify for the A side of the draw. It's I don't know the full rules on that, but what a race that was, and what a championship we've got ahead of us. Ricci says, got me sweating like hell. That is I didn't think you were sweating. I thought you had that in full control throughout that race, but that is how it went. Nathan saying, didn't realise you could shift at 80%. That would have saved you the fuel to finish, my friend. But that means that he will go through with second place. Like I said before, the win didn't mean anything, but some great racing throughout that. A message there, which of course I'll allow. Phil Gardner saying, check out Curve Kart's YouTube channel if you want to see some other action. Yes, you may as well. It's absolutely brilliant, and thank you all for joining us. It's just flashed up 242 comments from you all tonight, so it's really good to see you all join in with the chat. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, click like and subscribe to the channel, as the host has ended the game there, and we will be hopefully bringing you another event tomorrow night. Next week from this championship. But I will just bring up something which is for tomorrow night, which we will be racing. Yes, I'll just click that kart there. These are the Club 100 styled go-karts, which we have racing tomorrow night around a circuit. Now, I'm not allowed to say what circuit it is yet, because we know, as Club 100 drivers do, they'll go and practice. And we don't want that. We don't want them practicing. We want them going in cold turkey. So tomorrow night on the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel, myself will be joined by Andrew Maffer, who's one half of Double Dash Motorsport Media, and we will be commentating on the O plate, which is these go-karts right in front. So please come across to that channel and watch some spectacular racing as these real life go-karters take that onto a circuit on GT Sport, and you do not want to miss that. Last year's was a cracker. So I will leave that with you. Thank you all for joining in and watching the stream tonight, and hopefully I will bring you a race next week from the MRC Mega Team vs Team Challenge. Good luck to all the drivers. Nobody eliminated tonight. We've got an A and a B side of the grid, and all I can say is, wherever you are in the world tonight, stay safe. It's obviously a tough time at the moment, and this kind of racing is bringing us back to the motorsport scene, ready for when we can hit the track and see some real life racing and take part in it. So stay safe, and I'll see you next week, hopefully for another one of these lobbies, and thank you for joining us.